Good morning, everyone. Here's another spiritual download as the birds are chirping in the background. I keep my window open at night nowadays because, it's springtime and it's good to let that breeze in sometimes. And the birds kind of act as my alarm clock sometimes. So sometimes they wake me up before my regular alarm clock does. And it's a pleasant sound to hear sometimes. Sometimes I get my spiritual downloads based on the dreams that I received. And the dream that I had last night involved me being on a very long bus ride. And it was a bus ride from my job back home. But it was a very, very long one. I commute from one city to another because my job is in another city. And as I mentioned before, I live in a metropolitan area where there are several cities that encompass the metropolitan area in Virginia, and it's composed of 7 cities. So I live in one city, and the one city that I live in, the city that I work in, is in a city that is on the other side of a tunnel. So the two cities are separated by a bay, and we're talking about a good 45 minutes distance. So there's plenty of people will work on one side of the tunnel and then they'll live on the other side. And there could be many reasons for that. Some people might like the living conditions better on one side and the job conditions better on the other side. So there are a lot of people that go back and forth between the two areas all the time. And there could be a lot of traffic. So because I work for a transportation company now, one of the perks is being able to use the transportation at no cost. So, I will use the transportation to commute back and forth at no cost to me, and the company provides that. So, I remember being on my regular route, regular bus commute going home, but instead of it being a regular ride, it just seemed really long. And it was because there was a huge amount of traffic. It was a very bright summer day. And I remember coming home over a bridge. And on this particular bridge, it was a bridge where you have pedestrian walkways on both sides of the bridge. And it was a bridge that was going over another bay, but it was in a city portion. We had already passed through the tunnel area going into another city, heading back towards home. And in this other city, it was a whole bunch of pedestrians walking around, and it was some kind of festival or carnival or something that was going on. There were a lot of people walking on both sides of the pedestrian sides of the bridge. So there were a lot of people in the streets, and there were traffic lights on both ends of the bridge. So there was traffic on the bridge, and the bus was trying to get through. And nowadays it's different than it was when we were kids. Whenever there were vehicles in the street and everything, people used to run for the hills whenever they saw a vehicle. Nowadays, people just walk in front of vehicles. They just take their time. They act like they don't care if there's a vehicle coming, no matter how big it is. And they just don't have any regard. They just walk right in front of moving vehicles, and they just don't have any fear. Whereas when we were small, we used to run like crazy when we saw a vehicle coming, and sometimes we got chastised if we didn't run out of the way and saw a vehicle. Our parents used to jump all over our case if we didn't. Child, why didn't you run out the way when you saw that car coming? And some of us would get punished if we didn't. Different day and age, different behaviors. And I remember being on this bus in my dream, and we got to the top of the bridge, and we're stuck in traffic trying to get over the bridge, and these people are trying to walk across. Some of them trying to get from one side of the bridge over to the other side of the bridge. So because traffic is stagnant, they're trying to walk across, trying to walk across from one pedestrian side of the bridge over to the other side of the bridge. And they're walking through the traffic. So when the traffic starts to move a little bit, some people, instead of just waiting for the traffic to stop moving, they'll start walking through the traffic. And some of them will walk in front of the bus while it's moving. And the bus driver has to stop. Frustrated, has to be diligent. And I remember 4 different occasions, there were these young people, because I don't know, I guess it was a kind of a music festival affair where there was a lot of young people. There were these young people simply not looking, just walking in front of the bus, and the driver has to just be diligent, beeping the horn. They're not looking at the bus. They're looking in the opposite direction, walk in front of the bus to get to the other side. Driver has to put on brakes 4 different times. Has to go across the bridge. One time, the person walks in front of the bus, not looking in the same direction. Driver puts on brakes. And I was like, oh my goodness, close call. We go a little bit further in the traffic on the bridge. Second time, another young person walks in front of the bus, not looking in the same direction. Driver puts on brakes. Has to keep on going. This happens 4 different times. You get near to the bottom of the bridge. We're just within minutes from the bottom of the bridge where the stoplight is. We're just a few cars away, getting ready to go. And the traffic starts to lighten up a little bit when we get ready to go. And this last person walks in front of the bus. But this time, this person is looking in the direction of the bus. Because everybody else had their back turned to the bus, where they weren't looking at the bus at all. Walked in front of the bus, and the driver avoids hitting them, and they walk in front of the bus. This person walks in front of the bus and looks at the bus, and the bus hits them. Body flies in front of the windshield, blood splatter, hits the ground. We're like, oh my God. The bus stops, here comes the EMT and everything else. This is going on in my dream. So, I'm sitting there for a while, And, of course, that picture just fades to black. It doesn't go into detail. And then all of a sudden, it skips to me being home. So it doesn't go into the detail of the person being, treated and all that stuff. But once that person gets hit, I just see the ambulance coming, the bus stopping, and then it fades to black, and then all of a sudden it looks up, and then I'm home. And I don't know if it's the evening or the next day or whatever, and I'm just, home, kind of just doing my own thing, and it's a regular day. And then shortly after that, it was time for me to wake up, and I'm sitting, and Spirit told me, give a message. I don't know what the meaning was in that, but I just distinctly remember 4 people walking in front of the bus with their backs turned to the bus, ignoring the bus, and the bus stopping and not hitting them. But the one person, when we get to the bottom of the bridge and the traffic clears, walks in front of the bus with their face to the bus, looking at the bus, and gets hit. So I don't know what that means, and I do not remember exactly what the person looks like, and I don't distinctly remember whether it was a male or a female. So I kind of hope Spirit gives me the message as to what that means. It doesn't mean that these things are actually going to happen. And that's what I mean to tell you in these dreams, people. Sometimes when you have these dreams about these things, it does not mean that these literal things may happen. There could be a hidden message in this. It could be all symbolism. It could be something that's going to tell me. It could be something that's going to happen 4 times, and the 5th time it might be different. Or it could be something associated with the number 4. It could be something that I could be looking for in the number 4 today. It could be something having something to do with the number 5 today. It could be something that I tried 4 times and failed, and the 5th time is going to be okay. Or it could be something associated with a relative in regards to number 4. Or it could be something involving the bus that I'm going to ride today when I go to work. I don't know. Or it may not be a bus at all. But I just hope the Spirit gives me clarity. But I'm giving you this message because when you have dreams like this, for those of you who have vivid dreams like this, because I dream in color most of the time, and a lot of you dream in color as well, and you have vivid dreams like this, don't be afraid when you have these type of dreams. There are some types of messages that are being sent to you from the beyond, and there is something that is trying to be told to you about this. Keep yourself open and just be diligent and aware as you go about your day. Don't be afraid. It's just something that's trying to be told to you, something that's just trying to be sent to you as far as a message and something that you need to be aware of. Something unexpected is going to happen, and just because it might be a negative thing in your dream, it could be something positive that could happen. So just please keep that in mind. So I just look at it as a message from Spirit today to kind of just keep my antenna up, keep my radar open today. So as I go about my day, I'm going to just kind of be more aware as to what's going on and pay attention and just be a little bit more careful about what I do and what I say and just be a little bit more tuned in as to what's going on around me. That's all. I'm not going to look for anything negative to happen or anything like that, and I'm not going to be anxious about anything because you have to remember that you are protected and guided at all times by your spirit guides, your ancestors, your archangels, and your creator at all times. It's just it is a special message that was transmitted to you in your subconscious while you were dreaming that there's something is going to change. So with that being said, I thought I would just share that with you. And from time to time, anytime that I do have a dream that is very interesting, I would like to share that with you. And anytime that you have one, put it in the comments. Share it with everyone. Because you'll be surprised how many people have dreams like that and they don't want to share it with anybody because they don't want anybody to think they're crazy. They think that they're the only one. But I just wanted to share that with you guys this morning. And if anything unusual does happen, I will make a comment about it, or I might just follow it up with another audio. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I hope you have a great day, and peace be unto all of you.